Hey guys, morning brief video. Home Depot just dropped here at 6 a.m. Dropped the numbers here. We had a Head and Shoulders potential pattern here. We are breaking lower this morning on Home Depot on better than expected revenues, sales, and better than expected uh, uh, earnings per share. Uh, Basically, it's like so many others. The multiples are so high that they're coming in and they're lowering the forward uh, uh, earnings multiples. So earnings per share multiples. So initially here, we're getting a down reaction to what seemed to be some decent numbers. Um, they did raise their dividend, and that's another thing to keep in the back of our minds here. But this is a breakdown pattern. Say we could be looking for 325 as our target, downside target here in the not so different distant future. It's still early. Maybe they come in here and decide to support it again and make this draw this out much longer. But initially here we are breaking the neckline here on the Head and Shoulders here on Home Depot pre-market here. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Hims reported last night, got decimated, really overvalued stock. So yeah, it's coming down pretty heavy today. We're down $10 a share, probably 15, 20, 15, 20% or something like that on Hims this morning after already getting decimated the day before, after the news came out that they aren't going to be doing the obesity. They won't have access to those, be able to sell the obesity drugs any longer. So yeah, Hims in a blow off. It really looks like a blow off top scenario. We're technically at the neckline here early on this morning, so anything can happen here. Look at so heads up on that. Early price action this morning before 6 a.m. We saw some weakness hitting the tape in Meta. Heads up on that. Meta was seeing some downside pressure here. I ideally going to be coming down the Meta, coming down into the main test here of the 630 area. So pretty much looks like another one of those patterns. Head, shoulder, setting up here on Meta. So heads up on that. On my alerts here, Google's hitting it. Google actually found support at the 180 area yesterday, but I think it gave it all back. Uh, so that was a potential buy zone. Now we're actually drifting below that buy zone. Um, uh, that we came up at that critical support, completely lost all that. Now we're losing, going below that as we speak here. So this is actually a broken pattern. So be very mindful of that. Now we're looking for, this is a shoulder, head, potentially coming down to complete the patterns to the downside down here. The 168 area would be our primary target to the downside if this plays out. So heads up on that going forward here on Google. Other things hitting the tape this morning. Supposed to be some higher restrictions against China using U.S. semiconductors. Uh, it is hitting NVIDIA this morning. We are losing to 130 this morning here on NVIDIA. Definitely something to be worried about. This is a very uh, ugly development this morning. Below 130 is really not very good here right before earnings. So heads up on that. So we are getting some downside pressure on that. Another one is Palantir getting hit pretty hard this morning. This pattern, another one, shoulder, head, blow off top scenario. We at least got to come down and check the uh, neckline high here, at 83. It's coming down. That could be an early, I've got an alert here. I'm probably going to be an early short on that one for the final move down into the 83 area. Could be very fast, so be very mindful of that. Could be a very fast move to 83 on Palantir. That's probably going to be one of my first moves this morning. AMD was another one. It was on my alerts this morning, right here into a multiple bottom area, potentially breaking a very critical support this morning. So I'm going to be placing an alert there if we start pushing out below there for a move back down to $100 here. It could happen fairly quickly if things continue to slide like they are early on this morning. So heads up on that. That's just a few things real quick here that I'm looking at. As far as the indices go, give me 1 second. We're going to start with the VX futures here, guys. So we are above the daily anchored VWAP, pushing out above that daily anchored VWAP. Very bullish pattern here on the VX futures. Let me see if it shows on that. No, not anchor VWAP, central pivot. So we held the central pivot on the VX futures yesterday, wicked right off of it. Now we're gapping up. Stair stepping higher. It looks like potentially stair stepping higher on the VIX. We're at 19 already. Could get a lot worse. We'll see how it plays out here. Heads up on that. Up 4.74% so far this morning. Okay. Some big takeaways here this morning. We are in a negative gamma situation on the monthly time frame here for March. Heads up on that. So negative gamma on the monthly. We just started the March contracts. Very bearish development here to kick off the session here. So heads up on that. So negative gamma is a problem here. Okay, guys. Okay, and this, like I said, we can kind of sweep down now since we're in negative gamma. We can sweep down, and we got plenty of time for them to try to recover. For everybody who's all the market makers who are trapped, they got plenty of time for that to come back up. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Let me go over here in 4 hour. See it better. Yeses. So we are below the month. In this week's end of month, we are below the put wall. Okay, early on this morning here. I'm thinking we're going all the way down to 5,900. It could be a very fast move, given the way the gamma exposure is currently loaded here. We could actually get a fairly quick move down to 5,900. Okay, heads up on that. We are still holding our monthly put wall down here on the NQs. That's holding out the best. I would have preferred coming in this morning if this was actually leading to the downside. That's why I had to be very cognizant. This could be that could be come in here and try to buy this dip. So be mindful of that. And then the Russell, Russell's hanging out right down here. Let's see here on the bigger time frame. Maximize 4 hour. I think the put wall is a lot lower. Yeah. End of month put wall is way down here at 210 on IWM. So it's a little holding up just a little bit better this morning. So heads up on that. We do have interest rates falling this morning. Bonds have a bid, so that's a risk off asset. They're going to safety. I don't know if Apple's actually catching a bid or not. Apple has been a safety trade as well. Don't know if it can. I don't know how much longer that can last. Being in a tech waiting here, we are into this downward channel. That's what they were going to for safety. Apple, right here in the top of this channel. This could at any time just roll over and die. So just be very mindful of that potential here. I know it's a safety trade, but just be mindful of that potential. What could be setting up here? Okay. Other things I was wanting to talk about. Get loaded up here. Okay, in the Discord rooms and stuff, I did post this chart yesterday. So this little trend line here, this is the mother of all trend lines. This is a 100-year trend line based from the 29 highs and the 2000 tech bubble. I'm thinking by the end of the week or in the month, we could actually be down into this 5,900. So heads up on that. And I'm telling you, we're only 83 points away. I mean, come on. We do 83 points in a day. Okay. The fact that we could be in 5,900 before the end of the week, or worse. I mean, you gotta put things in context. So, this is not a big leap being back into the 100-year trend line to close out the month of February. It's not a major leap to think that that's going to happen. That's my primary thesis, and I'm trading in that. I'm trading in that direction. That I don't want to be taking any longs. I want to continue to trade with this thesis personally. Maybe it plays out, maybe it doesn't, but that's just my primary thesis that I'm trying to trade with for the rest of the week. Quick different view here. This is the anchored VWAP from the post-election gap high, gap open. Okay, so we had this big gap after the election, and this is our anchored VWAP from that, and that's what we're currently in. It's not really a supportive, has not proven to be a supportive anchored VWAP, but it's not something to be aware of. How we came right up to that anchored VWAP and just blew off to the top upside. Now we're back into that here, back testing it as of today here on the diamonds. Other ones, let me make sure the other ones are correct. 1 second. Yeah, SPY looks good here. Similar situation on SPY. No, it'd be over here. Yeah, on that one. Yeah, that was the diamond breakout. Was way over here. The SPY is over here. I got to change that 1 second. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay. So I was mistaken. So basically, with the diamonds, I had to start at the beginning of the trend breakout on it. So this is post-election on this one here on SPY and the others. Diamonds was a little bit different than the others. A similar situation, post-election, we had this big gap up post-election. Came up into this anchored VWAP. That's where we're currently trading at today. It has not really acted as support, but it has acted as a divining rod the last time we broke through it. So be very mindful. The first time we broke through it last time, broke through it this time, divining rod, volatility could explode if we start accepting prices below this anchored VWAP. So just be very mindful. Uh, so, basically, if we start accepting prices below this anchored VWAP, we should see a very quick move to 595. Well, we're already 595.47 right now, so heads up on that. So we're already trading down here. So be very mindful. This could get brutal quick. Okay. And of course, my cap's wanting to chime in and tell you his opinion on things. Okay. I didn't have the footrest up for him to lay down. Okay, guys. Here we go on the Qs here. And so basically, I'm calling this a head and shoulders right here on the Qs. We're right into that divining, like I said, that post-election anchor to VWAP. This morning we are at 517. So we are below this anchored VWAP this morning. Okay, so heads up on that. It's more choppy on this chart pattern, but I am looking for a move down to complete this pattern to the downside. I'm looking for a move down to the 511.46 coming inbound imminently. So that's another 6 points lower here. And as we've seen in the past, it has multiple times pretty much done that in one day. So be very mindful that we're in a high volatility situation, and we could very easily be into the 511 area before the day's out today. And my final chart, so I can keep it sweet here. So we're at 215.45 this morning. So we're still holding that critical support right here. And you see this wick area? We're right inside this wick area this morning here on the Russell. Heads up on that. And this one here is actually the most telling of all the indices of a head and shoulders because of just how much back and forth. We had massive gaps when we tried to push up here. It just a lot of uncertainty in this head area. This is actually much more telling than any of the indices of weakness, upside weakness in the markets. So heads up on that going forward here. We haven't broken yet, but obviously this is the neckline area. This is the head. If we break down, we're looking all the way down in this area down here on the Russell. So we're looking sub 200 on the Russell if this thing starts getting some steam to the downside. Heads up on that, okay? So be very mindful of that scenario as we go forward here, okay? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say today. I mean, like I said, bottom line is try to find things short resistance this morning if you can. Basically, if we came into support into the close yesterday, that should become new resistance for today. That's the way it's been happening for the most of the week here. That anything that was in support yesterday is probably new resistance today. So I'd be really looking that way in the markets. So bottom line is, we're still got Apple into resistance. I tried to short it yesterday; it didn't work. Maybe today's the day to short Apple. I don't know. I don't know. I was really frustrated that it wouldn't come down, but that's the way it goes. And pretty much anything else in the market I could have shorted except Apple. That's the way it goes. I didn't lose money, but it's the idea that I picked the one thing that decided not to come down. Yeah. So, hey, thanks a lot, and I will see you trading. You know, appreciate everybody watching my videos. Please like me if you get a chance, and leave some comments below if you can. Appreciate it. If you're seeing something that I'm not seeing, appreciate it. Okay.